You're welcome back to Network Africa. Now let's take a look at the stories that made headlines this weekend. Kenya was one of them, a sad event that happened on Friday. A building collapsed, killing 21 people. The owner of the building has been nabbed, but let's take a look at other stories that made headlines this weekend.
A mosque under renovation collapsed in Somalia, killing at least 15 people and injuring 40. It happened during prayers as the building in the capital Mogadishu was packed with worshippers. Hundreds of people are reported to have been inside the building when it collapsed, and some are still believed to be trapped under the rubble. An engineer on the refurbishment project is said to have been arrested on suspicion of negligence. Then in Kenya, the death toll from Friday's building collapse in Nairobi has risen sharply to 16. According to the Kenya Red Cross Society, 135 people have been rescued from the 6-story residential building, while 73 others are still missing. The 6-story building, according to residents, was built on a waterway, blocking the passage of water, which could have weakened its foundation. Excavators were on the site, a sign that the rescue effort is giving way to recovery. Finally, a group of 33 lions rescued from circuses in Peru and Colombia arrived at the Emoya Big Cat Sanctuary in South Africa to begin their new life in the bush. The animals were flown into Johannesburg on a chartered cargo flight on Saturday before making their way on trucks to their final destination, a 5,000-hectare reserve on a private estate in northern Limpopo province. Cleared by a state vet, the cats grunted and roared as the crates containing them were loaded onto trucks for the last leg of their journey by road, several hours north of Johannesburg. ADI said 24 of the cats had been taken from circuses in Peru, part of a menagerie of 100 animals rescued with the help of Peruvian officials, cracking down on illegal wildlife trafficking. The rescued lions roared and played with each other through fences as they were freed for the first time.
Let's turn our focus now to Zimbabwe. Even in the best of times, life is hard in Mwenzi, a district near the country's southern border, after the worst regional drought in nearly a decade and the failure of nearby crops. It is likely to be even harsher. The number of Zimbabweans requiring food aid has risen to 4 million, up from 3 initially, according to a state-owned paper. The southern nation is grappling with the worst drought in its history. In Mwenzi, officials say half of the district's population is in need of food aid. The region is home to 175,000 people and is among the most affected in the country's 33 districts. Fresh water is also scarce. Women, who are the primary caregivers in many families, have to walk long distances in search of water. Zimbabwe has declared a state of national disaster. The government has appealed for $1.6 billion in aid to help pay for grain and other food. Aid agencies warn the lack of water may also result in the spread of diseases like diarrhea. Farmers have already lost cattle and crops and fear more pain as the year progresses.
We have the rains that we have received recently, but during the first half of the season, most parts of the province did not receive enough rainfall, which was sufficient for meaningful germination.
When there is problems with water, then communities tend to use water that is not safe. So communities that are not accessing water will end up having diarrhea, therefore will require treatment.
Let's turn back home now to Nigeria. The proposed 56 million naira minimum wage organized by organized labor remains the talking point a day after the May Day celebration. A member of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Mr. Onyeka Chris, who was guest on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily, believes that if state governments are sincere, focus on their internally generated revenue and cut down on their excesses, the proposed wage will be achievable.
The states have capacities to sustain the increment. Why? All the states have to do is to look at the IGR. All the states have to do is to be more responsible, more prudent in the way in what they spend their money on and in the way they spend money. That is all they have to do. It's sincerity. And when they tell you about the size of their overhead, you ask yourself, what is the content of this overhead? When you deconstruct the overhead, you find out that the component that actually goes to workers, genuine worker salary, is so small. Now, who are those that are responsible for bringing in those ones that were called ghost workers, that padding those names into, it's not the worker. It is not the guy, the clerk. It is not the guy that carries the files.
Who is it?
It is somebody that is high up there, that has the means to cover it, put it, and so at the end of the day, these ghost workers get salary. And this salary goes into somebody's account. These accounts have BVN. Who are they? Why is it difficult for you to say? We have identified 54 ghost workers in social and social establishment, and the salaries were being paid to social and social. Why are they not mentioning their names?
Well, let's turn to more cheerful stories. Love going on to new heights, literally. The unit to join the paragliding enthusiasts in Cairo, Egypt. It's all thanks to a new school providing students with the necessary paraphernalia. Please watch.
Paragliding enthusiasts head to the desert of an upmarket suburb of Cairo to literally learn the ropes of the adrenaline-fueled sport. The Egyptian paragliding school provides students with kites, harnesses, and flight training over the course of 5 days together with theoretical and practical lessons. Paragliding instructor Esmat Mohammed, who was once an amateur skydiver, quit his job to follow a paragliding passion 3 years ago in 2013.
It started as a hobby. I was going through my career and I had no relation to aerial sports afterwards. I decided to quit from my career and start something I love.
Around 10 new students sign up to the classes twice a month when classes are held. One student, Ahmed Abdelmonain, said that a desire to try something new motivated him to sign up.
I like trying new sports. I did cycling and kayaking and canoeing. I like playing sport that break the boredom.
The sport requires certain conditions in order for beginners to stand half a chance, such as 15-kilometer wind speed and a moderately high terrain. Mohammed says he has found the perfect spot in Cairo for training his students, the well-to-do suburb of 6 October City. Once they have mastered the basics, he moves them to 15 May City in Helwan, 30 kilometers outside Cairo, where conditions for the jumps are even more ideal. Other cities with suitable landscapes such as Fayum and Ain Shokana require governmental permits to perform jumps.
As we end Network Africa, the first day officially commemorating the life of a late Congolese singer, Papa Wemba, has begun in the DRC. He is presently lying in state in the parliamentary building at the capital Kinshasa and will be taken later to his family home for the public to view. Delivering a tribute to the late singer, President Joseph Kabila awarded him one of the country's highest honors for the loyal and eminent services given to the nation. Papa Wemba was considered one of Africa's most influential musicians. He pioneered modern Congolese soukous music, which spread throughout the continent. Thanks for watching Network Africa. I am Amarachi Ubani.